Hey, this is Darren LaCroix, 2001 World Champion of Public Speaking. And I had an interesting weekend this past weekend in North Carolina for the NSA chapter there. And it was really cool. They had a session in the afternoon where people actually got up and just told 1 to 2 minutes about the most transformational information that they got from the NSA conference this summer. Well, I wasn't at that, so I asked if I could just talk about the quotes that had really impacted me, my thinking, and what I did this year. And the three things that I got up and spoke about is, one came from Patricia Fripp. This was a quote that just rings through me. And Patricia Fripp said that your money should earn more money than you do. Wow, I really needed to hear that, and I had been a little bit loose with my spending, and now it's really impacted me where I am so anal about paying things off and paying things down that becomes my top priority because I look at some of the interest that I'm paying on some of my credit cards, both in my business and personal. So it's really impacted my thinking. In fact, I wrote it up on my whiteboard on my side wall over here. Your money should make more money than you do. Just brilliant from Patricia Fripp. Second one that impacted myself and Ed Tate, one of our conference calls, we had a gentleman named Frederick Marchini, who is a gentleman that I coach in his speaking, but he's been coaching me in my business. And the quote from Frederick that really rang through to me was, every day that you don't reach outside of your four walls is a day that your business doesn't grow. Wow, another one. That's why I've been doing more newsletters and trying to do more blogs and make some more phone calls that maybe I wouldn't have made otherwise. But that quote has really been ringing through my head. Every day that I don't reach outside of my four walls is a day that my business doesn't grow. Powerful. And finally, this year, one of the things that Craig Valentine actually brought forefront in my mind, and I've been adding more and more into my speaking, was really taking into consideration when I bring people into my story, my audience and my listeners, is to really be aware of the different learning styles. And Craig taught me about the VAKS, V-A-K-S, about the visual learners, the auditory learners, the kinesthetic, and then S is actually for smell or olfactory. Meaning when you start a story to actually invite the audience into the story, like they're sitting there watching it themselves, like they're part of the scene and witnessing the dialogue go back and forth. For example, V, if you had been sitting there in the hallway in the hospital, you would have seen 3 patients and 2 nurses at the nurses' station look shocked when they heard me say, "Look out!" Okay, so heard me say is an auditory. Now you don't necessarily have to get all 4 in, but kinesthetic, what did you feel? When you were driving down the road, you felt the wind. If you had been sitting in the car next to me with the top down, you would have seen the mountains of Las Vegas, the red rocks. Okay? And then smell, olfactory, one of the key ways, the fastest ways to bring people into a scene. Actually, olfactory or smell is actually one of the strongest keys to bringing people into the scene. For example, when I tell my family reunion story, I talk about you could smell the fresh cut grass in the air that day. It really brings people into the scene. So those are the 3 things that have really impacted my thinking this year. Patricia Fripp, your money should make more money than you do. Frederick, every day I don't step out of my 4 walls is a day that my business doesn't grow. And finally, when I invite people into my scene, check the VAKS. So thank you, Craig. Thank you, Frederick, and thank you, Patricia. I hope this has given you some new ideas. What has impacted you the most this year? And are you sharing it?